What's happening, everybody? Hope all of you are doing great. In today's video, I will show you how I do set up breeding cage for my budgies, and the products I use. Will not go in too much detail, but will show you some essentials that you definitely need when it comes to breed budgies. So I've got a cage here. I have already cleaned up. So this cage is 2 feet square. So 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. And what I've got here, I've got a breeding seed mix. This is a Versilaga seed. You can get any good seed mix for your budgies. I've got a red millet sprays. I've got an iodine calcium block. I've got a grit there. I've got these are peeled oats or groats, and I've got Thrive and Gloss. You can get it from any pet store. This is basically the I think soya mixed with fish oil. And then I've got a pink mineral. You can use black minerals as well with it, but at the moment I'm just using simply the pink minerals. They are high in vitamin D3, calcium, vitamin E, and vitamin A. It's the same fish oil. It comes, obviously, fish oil has vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin A. The most important thing when it comes to breeding budgies indoor is that you are giving them vitamin D3, which is very important for the synthesis of calcium. Otherwise, the hens, their body will not be able to absorb calcium, and it will be a problem when they will be laying eggs, plus the infertility and the other issues they come. So the way I do it, I have installed 2 sticks in there, and obviously you need water as well, which I've already put it on the cage. So the way I look at it, it should be the birds should feel safe in the cage. That's a very first and very important thing to when it comes to breeding any birds. If the birds don't feel safe for themselves, how they will feel safe for their chicks? And that can be one of the reasons the birds don't breed, because they don't feel safe in that enclosure or the cage. So my cage, this cage is covered from 3 sides and has a wire the front, this wire panel or whatever you call it at the front, and it's covered from 3 sides. I do have cages which have the wire on all 4 sides, but because this pair is going to be breeding first time, so I prefer the first time breeders to go in a breeding cage which is covered from all 3 sides and only the front is open, basically. So then you need to make sure when you move, before you move the birds in, everything is inside, and their food, their seed, their supplements, everything is inside, because I don't like to disturb the birds once they have placed inside the breeding cage, because they will be nervous. They're going in a breeding cage first time. You don't want to stress them out more than they should be stressed out, because obviously when you move the birds in, the budgerigas, they are social birds. So when you move the bird from a colony into a breeding cage, they will get stressed out. But it's your job, your responsibility to give them enough security in that breeding cage that they become comfortable very soon there, and they start thinking of having chicks. So next thing, when it comes to the seed, I would give them plenty of seed. And this is in every breeding cage. I don't use small pots. This is, I think, 6 inch by 3 or 4 inch wide, and 2 inch in height. So if I don't even change this seed is more than enough for a pair for a week, or even more than a week. But the reason I give extra seed, or I give them plenty of seed, because if you see in wild, birds, they like to breed when there's abundance of food, when the plants are growing seeds on them, when they don't really breed in fall. They start breeding when the new plants are emerging, the flowers are coming out, the seed, there's a plenty of seed for themselves and for their chicks. So it's a psychological thing. I just give them a lot of seed so they can visually see there is a lot of plenty of seed for themselves, and if they breed, there will always be a seed for their chicks as well. So I think this does affect them psychologically. Plus, I like to give them the seed they like. The pair I'm introducing now, they really like red millet here. So I've got a regular seed, which is a mix of canary seed and different millet seeds. Plus, I've got red millet sprays. They also like eating peeled oats or groats. So I've got those here as well. And the rest of the things, they're just like, you can say, supplementing vitamin D3 and calcium and other stuff. So as I said, I like to have my birds in my breeding cages. I like to have 2 sticks rather than 1 stick. The reason for that is normally the males, they jump from 1 stick to another, and when they're doing their breeding ritual or whatever you want to call it, and it does make females excited and they like it. So you should have 2 sticks in your breeding cage. I've got this breeding box here. What I'll do, will have some wood chips in there. At the moment, it's a box within box. I've tried to clean it as much as possible, but there are some stains, paint stains, they are not coming off. And this box was completely white when I bought it brand new. It's 3-4 years old now, so it has changed its color a bit towards yellowish. But anyway, these are the nest boxes I use. They are plastic nest boxes. You can use the wooden ones as well, but I would recommend to at least have a box which is 9 to 10 inch in height, 9 to 10 inch in you can say in depth, and roughly minimum 6 inch wide. So use a slightly bigger nest box. That's what I prefer, because if you have more than 3 or 4 babies, then there is enough room for the babies to move around. And I have a good success rate with the larger nest box instead of having very small nest box. I've seen people using 4-inch square nest boxes or 5-inch square nest boxes. They're not good. They should be at least 9 to 10 inch in height, 9 to 10 inch in depth, and they should be at least minimum 6 inches in width. This one is, I think, 7.5 or 8 inches. So yeah, so we got an opening here for the nest box. So let's start setting it up. I've got these hooks at the front, so I'm holding a camera as well at the same time. So there you go. So just make sure it's secure, it's not going to come out, and there's not a big gap here so the birds can come out. So what we'll do now is leave the seed in. So I like to place the seed right in the middle of in between 2 sticks. So when they're droppings, it will not go into the seed pot. It will stay clean. And I use these cheap plastic trays. These are normally, you can buy it from any Poundland or any store which sell the plastic stuff. These are the disposable food containers. So I use them for a week and then I throw them and get the new ones. So it's just like I don't have to clean them or whatever. So I quickly can change them. Then for the soft food, this is basically a soft food dish. I use ceramic dishes instead of plastic. They're easier to clean and they don't get scratched. And yeah, so the food stays fresh in them. So there it goes. I like to leave the grit right in the corner, and on the top of grit I will have let me just put the camera here. I'll have this iodine block. So even the female, when they start grinding this iodine block, all the powder, it will go in the grit. And because when the females, they are on eggs, maybe she will just grind this whole blocks within a couple of days. So it's best to have them right on the top of the grit. Then we have these pink and minerals, and the other one, the way I like to do it, I put them right next to the sticks. So I don't put them right on the top of this. So this is free to open and move around. So this is how I set up my breeding cage. Now let me quickly introduce the pair in this. The way I do it, because in my experience, females, they get stressed out very quickly and they start flying around. So if you put the female first in the cage, she will either put them together or put male first and then the female. If you put the female first in the cage, when you'll be opening the cage again to introduce the male, she'll fly around. She will create basically a stressful environment. So to avoid that, I'll put the male in first. Males are normally more calmer, so he will be calm, and when she'll see him calm in a breeding cage, she will not be stressed out too much. So that's the first thing. Let me grab the pair now. Okay. While I was in bed last night, I was thinking about what I'm going to pair up tomorrow. So that's a male, which will go in this breeding cage, this blue male. Even though he is bonded with that cinnamon green hen, but I would like to give him a different hen. Well, the first thing is she's a bit young. She's roughly 5 months old. I don't like breeding very young hens. It's not good for their health. Plus, they don't become good mothers. It's always there always will be a problem when it comes to rearing the chicks if the hen is too young. So I've got the younger brother of this male is this blue. He's the younger brother of this male. I will introduce him, and the hen I will give him, she's right on the top. The one she has just taken a bath, the yellowfish cinnamon gray, right in the corner. Yeah, she flew there. This one, this hen. And I will show you as well how to see if the birds are in condition. So as you can see this male, he's already with one female, but I will keep an eye on him. I hope he will get paired up with that hen as well. If not, then I will change the pairing, but this is what I want to pair up at the moment. So let's grab the male first. When you see the bird, male bird especially, you see the seer here. How, let me just focus on his seer. There you go. See how bright blue it is, kind of a very violety, bright blue color. So it shows that the male is in a peak breeding condition. Plus, obviously, health-wise, when you hold the bird, it should have a fuller body. It should be muscular on his chest. And yeah, so let's quickly put him in the breeding cage. Sorry if I cover my camera because... Okay, another thing, never ever drop the birds on the floor. Always put them on the perch. Yeah. So I will give male a couple of minutes. He's a very good bird. Look at that. He's a very good bird, and I hope he will breed some brilliant chicks. So I'll give a male a couple of minutes to settle down, and then I will introduce the hen. So you can see straight away he has started displaying. So even though I would like him to be fully feathered, he's not fully feathered at the moment. He's completing his second molt. His spots need to drop a bit more, but he has almost kind of completed his tail. All right, let's get the female. Females are kind of more... I've got another female here, which she will be quite nice as well, but I have messed up the pedigree of this hen, so I'm not really quite sure. I'm thinking she might be a sister of that male, so I don't really want to take that risk and end up pairing siblings together, so I don't want to do that. That's a hen I want to catch. Come on. She will be okay, when it comes to hen, let's zoom in. Come on. Not zoom in, let's focus. There you go. You see how dark her seer is? Even though she's in pins, but she will breed, in my opinion, she will breed perfectly. I'll keep you guys updated, but that's a pair I want to pair up at the moment, and I'll give them roughly 2 weeks to see if they get paired up or not. Again, same thing, when you are going to introduce the hen, never put the hen on the floor, always on the cage, on the stick. Okay, let's see the behavior. I think they're quite comfortable. Let's see how they react. They're fine. So that's a thing you would like to see. There you go. Bonded straight away. He was bonded with another hen, but as soon as I put her in a breeding cage, he is fine with her as well. And the main thing is the hen is interested. So that's kind of a best case scenario, that I've just introduced them in a breeding cage and both of them, they're comfortable with each other. But in case you feel the birds are not comfortable with each other, or male is flying around, or normally the males don't do that. Most of the time it's hens, she'll be flying around and she will not be happy. Don't straight away move the hens out. And if you keep on changing, like suppose if you change 3 or 4 hens within 10 minutes, of introducing male in a breeding cage, it will stress out the male as well, because you don't really know what the male is thinking. You judge them the way they behave. Now their behavior at the moment is very good, so they're bonded straight away. They are not scared of each other. They're not flying around. They're not scared of a breeding cage. So that's what I like to do, is introduce the pair in the cage where 3 sides are covered, so they cannot see other birds other than the one in a flight, and they are pretty far from this breeding cage. So they just start interacting with each other. So now I won't open their cage for next 3 days. I will not give them soft food. The seed is more than enough for them. So they got red millet spray, they got supplements. I will just change the water. Maybe I normally regularly try to every 24 hours at least change the water once, but I try my best to change the water twice. So they will get the change of water. Other than that, they will not get anything else in a breeding cage, because I don't want to open the cage and disturb them. That's how I do it. I don't open the cage and start cleaning and this and that. I leave it for 2 or 3 days. Once they settle down, then they will not have problem even if I open the cage or take stuff out or start cleaning. Another thing I forgot to mention in the beginning, I use newspaper on the cage floor. The main thing is it's very easy to clean it. I can just take a couple of pages on the top and remove them, and it will be a new pages down there, and yeah, they'll be clean. And that's how the newspaper I used to use. One of the vets told me back in the days when I used to breed dogs, that the newspaper is, because of the ink they use, is one of the best kind of a disinfectant, and it's always it's clean. It's better to use newspaper rather than a regular paper or wood chips. So I prefer to use a newspaper, easy to clean, and it's safe for them as well. Now, one thing I forgot to do? Let me just quickly grab that. Sorry about this camera, because I have to wood chips. I forgot to put the wood chips. The way I do it, I don't put it, because most likely the new hens, she will take all the wood chips out and she will start laying on the bare surface. What I'll do, when she'll start laying, I do not disturb her, and after 3 or 4 eggs, I will introduce a new wood chip. Some hens, they don't take the wood chips out, some hens they do. But the important thing is to note is, when the eggs are in the nest box, don't fill it up right on the top here. You just need a handful of wood chips, that's it, and use the coarser one. Don't use the very thin one. You need these coarser, thick wood chips, so the eggs don't sink in the wood chip. If it's like a powder, the eggs will sink in. She will find it difficult to rotate the eggs while she's incubating them. So they have to be kind of a bit coarser or thicker, this type of wood chip. So I just give them this. And if she removes it, I'll add a bit more when she has laid, or during the time she's laying. And that's pretty much it. The way I'm looking at the pair, they should lay within a week to 10 days time. The maximum time I give a breeding pair in a cage is 2 weeks. And if they don't lay even after 2 weeks, then I do some changes, depend how the pair is doing. If the male is not interested, I put the new male in. If the hen is ready to breed, normally it doesn't happen. 90% of my birds, when I put them in breeding cages, they do breed, and it's all because the environment you give them, and pick the right birds, the birds which are ready to breed, and straight away see the behavior. If the pair is getting bonded, if the pair is interacting with each other, it's a first and very important sign that the pair, it will breed. If they're not bonding, they're not interacting with each other, most likely they may fight, or they will be infertile eggs and stuff like that. So yeah, so main thing you need is, as I said before, you need to look at the bird and understand them, how their psyche is working out, how psychologically, how they are feeling inside, if they're feeling safe, if they're flying around, or how they're behaving. At the moment, this is how the pair should be: very calm, interacting with each other, not scared at all, not frightened at all. I'm sitting literally a feet away from them. They're not used to of the phone, but still they're not bothered. I'm filming them. So that's how it should be. That's how the breeding pair should be. Calmer the parents, calmer the chicks will be. Aggressive, stressed out parents will produce aggressive or stressed out chicks. So, and you don't really want them, especially the birds, if you're breeding the birds for the show, or if you're breeding the birds to keep them as pets. So I breed them for shows, and I need a calmer bloodline, the birds which are very calm, which are not stressed out, or I can move these birds anyway and they will be calm. So yeah, so that's it for today. You got any questions? The products and seed and everything, whatever I use, there should be a link in the description. And if you got any questions, please feel free. I'm kind of started stuttering now. Please feel free, and ask me in the comments. Take care till next time. Bye bye, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.